48, the lifted tank.
What a beautiful day. Man, it's just amazing out. It's late October. And let's see, what does the bike say here? It is 76, 77 degrees. Awesome. This turn right here, this is where my brother wrapped his T-bird around a tree when he was in high school in the fall. I'm on Sunset Drive, heading into Waukesha today. Today was one of those milestone days with this new motorcycle. I did the 1,000 mile maintenance. I think it only took me a couple weeks to get 1,000 miles on it. And I can't say I did anything extraordinary. I don't think I rode any more than I normally would. But yeah, 1,000 miles today was pretty cool. I'll try and slide in some video, but at the dealership I had to wait a couple hours, which was really painful because I didn't know it was going to be such a great day when I scheduled the appointment. So I'm sitting there for 2 hours waiting for my bike to get done. 1,000 mile maintenance, $311 later. I thought today I was thinking about what I want to do for a vlog today. And I thought I would try and do a top 5. So let's do a top 5 buyer's remorse, or top 5 things I miss with my 2012 Ultra FL HTK. Number 1, and this is, since I haven't thought through this, this is in no particular order. Number 1 will be my Stage 1. I really love the Stage 1, and I really miss it today. I'm out riding, and I was at the dealership today, and somebody was looking at mufflers, so somebody started up. One of the guys started up one of the Harleys there. I got to hear a nicer muffler, or a different muffler, and it sounded great. I had never heard of this brand before. It's a Cobra. I was quite impressed with the sound. Went over and talked to them about it a little bit. That might be something I look at. It was very inexpensive. It was half the price of my Vance and Hines that I had done before, and it sounded really nice. It had a really good sound to it. But anyways, not just the sound, but the performance of the Stage 1. The Stage 1 is basically the air cleaner. Just allows more air in for the fuel-to-air ratio. The pipes are opened up a little bit. I did not, in my Stage 1, I did not do the header pipes. The header pipes were stock. And then of course the tuning. So I really missed that. I missed the sound of it. I missed the performance that it gave me. Now this engine is pretty nice. It's got a really good low-end torque. I think the sound is decent. I call it a little bit more refined, which is kind of what you want for a cruising motorcycle. I'm not gonna get on the quarter mile and try and drag with anybody. But anyways, Stage 1 would be my number 1, and I would say probably the number 1. So if I was doing it in order, it would probably be the most missed thing. Number 2, this is the second one that I had thought of, is that I missed the glove box area in the fairings, the leg fairings. So on this new bike, although I love the, very cool, did you see that? Sidecar. Anyways, in the new bike here, it's twin cooled, and in order to make the twin cool work, the designers ended up taking up all of the leg fairing, so there is no more glove box. And the reason I miss it is that I kept a rag in there, so whenever I would get gas, I would take the rag out, use that so I don't splatter gas all over, and then I could put the gas cap in there while I'm filling up gas. And now when I fill up gas, it's very foreign to me. It's just the weirdest thing. Where do I put the cap? I'm putting it on my footboard, which is, it's just really weird. And then you can't let the fuel out all the way because it just sprays up. I don't know. They could have designed something better there, in my opinion. But I do miss the leg fairings glove box. Oh, by the way, I think I said I'm heading into Waukesha. This is my old stomping ground, so I think I'm going to do is take a quick tour around memory lane on Victoria Drive. And the cool thing is it's right behind Sunset Bowl, and I grew up behind Sunset Bowl, and I know it's like a bowling alley, big deal. But Sunset Bowl has historical significance. It is the bowling alley. I don't know. They also have like bands that play there and stuff like that. But it is the bowling alley, or the site where I believe Cheap Trick was signed.
We were turned down by countless labels, and then one night in the middle of the winter in Waukesha, Wisconsin, at the Sunset Bowling Alley, Sir Jack Douglas saw our group and agreed to produce our first album if we secured a record deal.
And I love Cheap Trick. By the way, they just came out with a Christmas album. I'm gonna take a look at that and see if it's any good. Probably will end up buying that. Hopefully it's on iTunes or something. But anyways, Cheap Trick was signed. I think although the suspension, this will be number 3, although the suspension is better, I'd have to say that I missed the easy adjustment of the shocks for the rear passenger. When I would get on the bike with my wife, I could just easily air ride it up and down. And now I have to turn a knob. So I don't miss the shocks, because the shocks are certainly better on this. I should say suspension is better on this motorcycle than the previous. But I do miss the ease of the change. So that'd be number 3. Oh, you know what? I also miss my my LED lights. I know this bike has LED lights, but not everything's LED. So that'd be number 4. On my previous bike, all of the lights I had were LED. I spent a lot of money. I spent my own time putting it all on, and I really loved it. I was actually, and hopefully I'll throw some video in there today as well, but when I was at the dealership waiting, I actually found my old bike kind of in their stock area for sale. And then at the end of the day, because I was waiting and they were shutting down, service was shutting down, I was about to pick up my bike, and they brought it in, and it reminded me. So they were driving, I watched them bring it in, and it had the LED lights on. It's like, oh yeah, I remember that. There's a McDonald's over here on the right. Let's see if it's still there. And that would be the McDonald's that when my parents were divorced, my dad would give us $5 each, because my dad would work so many hours. My dad would just give us $5 each. There it is. Looks a little different. And that's where we'd eat every single day for months and months and months. A friend of mine lived right up here on the right. None of this was here, by the way. These trees and all this stuff wasn't here. This house is duplex right here. One of my good friends, John, he's a big Harley rider as well. He was there, and then straight there's Sunset Bowl. So we used to play right here. I used to go sledding right here, and way back in the day, Sunset Bowl actually burnt down and started on fire, and we just sat there and watched it burn up. Those were the days. Wow, there it is, 1443 Victoria Drive. That grew up in there on the left-hand side. This tree was not that big. I don't even remember that tree. Yeah, I'm going to take a right. I'm going to go down memory lane a little bit more. Yeah, that's where I grew up. All my friends were on this road. Wow. I haven't been back to see that in so long. Just going in a circle here. So the parking lot of Sunset Bowl is now populated with a bunch of fast food restaurants, but in my day it was just a giant parking lot, and I would fly my kite there. It was completely wide open. It was great. And I think Pizza Hut was probably the only thing that was standing at the time. And it is close to Halloween, so one of the fond memories I have of that is we would go down to Pizza Hut. No, it couldn't have been Pizza Hut. It was something else. Shoot, I can't remember. They'd have pumpkins, and my friend and I, we would take those pumpkins and we'd sell them door to door, make some extra cash. And we had so much time, so much good time. So look at this, Sunset Bowl, the parking lot is just packed with a bunch of crap now. This was not here. Kentucky Fried Chicken. So the parking lot is now just a fraction of the size of what it used to be. They also built something out on the right. So this part that you see here on the left has always been here, but the portion on the right is relatively new. And when I say relatively, I'm thinking it's 20 to 30 years it's been here. I'm talking way back. Yep, and I used to fly my kite down here. We used to do bottle rockets, and used to go sledding on this hill right here. Oh, look at that. They put up those ropes, so you can't do that anymore. I'll have to show my brother that. That'll be a fond memory for him too, and he'll be kind of disappointed. But yeah, we used to slide all the way down here, and actually I don't even think this road wasn't here. This hill would actually grade all the way to the back here. It didn't have parking stalls and stuff. But anyways, this is where Cheap Trick was signed. It's where I grew up. That was fun. Over here behind this Citgo is the church I actually would go to when I grew up as well. Hey, you know what I do miss? Actually, it's a real one, but it's kind of minor. This is a minor, so I guess it counts, but it is relatively minor. My old bike, I had the GPS, and you guys had seen that. I'm a big GPS user. And then the GPS on this bike is... it's okay. Being a guy who heavily uses a GPS, it's okay. It's somewhat marginal, but it's okay. The one thing I really enjoyed about the GPS was having a speed. I could see the speed, and maybe I haven't found it yet. Maybe there's a screen there, and I just haven't found it. But I like having the speed show up in a digital speed, because I like the analog speed. Well, the funny thing is, on my last bike, my speedometer was off, and I might bring that up some other time, but the speedometer was off, and I needed that GPS to give me an accurate speed at times. You know what else Waukesha is famous for? You know, Cheap Trick, obviously Cheap Trick and Sunset Bowl, but Waukesha, well, way back, it was famous for its water. It apparently had healing powers. And this is, of course, going way back, like way back, way before I was born. There used to be a spring right here. That's why it reminded me of it over here on the right. But that's not the case anymore. And then the other big thing that Waukesha is, the city of Waukesha is famous for, is Les Paul. Les Paul's from here. There's a big sign when you enter, paying homage to Les Paul, which is pretty cool. Thanks for riding along with me today. I'll try and make this short. I'll try and carve this up into a shorter video. So I just remembered, so I know I did my top 5 already, but I have to put this in here because it's up there, and I can't believe I didn't think about it. We'll say that this is number 2. If I could slide everything down, this would actually be number 2, and we'll take that last one, the speed of the GPS. We'll take that off because that was lame to begin with. The number 2 position, can't believe I didn't think about it, is the CB. I really miss the CB, Citizens Band Radio. I'm a ham radio operator, amateur radio, and I just love radio. And I might be one of 2 people on the planet that actually still uses CB. And I used it on the bike when I did my trip down to Illinois. I used the CB constantly. The CB is what gave me an update on what was happening with the traffic. I was on the interstate, and I knew that I would not get to Springfield. I knew that the Springfield traffic was going to be 25 miles an hour for the next 3 hours. And you might say, well, who would want to know that? Well, I did, because it made me want to push through. I didn't just find a wayside and wait. I would have had to wait forever. Anyways, I love the CB and I miss the Citizens Band radio. It doesn't come with this bike. You can do it as an additional option. The CB itself, I think it's $300 or $400. I'm thinking $300. The problem is that you don't have the push to talk button, so you have to get that as well, and you have to get that installed. And who knows how much that is, and then plus the labor to get all of it on. I guess you're looking at a maybe $700 install to do this. Oh, and you need the antenna, and you have to route all that to the back of the bike. So I wouldn't doubt that being an $800 additional upgrade. Definitely not worth it. That's pretty expensive CB radio. But I would say that was number 2. It could be a number 1, but I think I missed that stage 1 more. But it's right up there as number 2. So we'll slide all those down, slide all that stuff down, and we'll put no CB as number 2.